Well, even though I have not been doing a lot of videos as of late, I still have been buying and dealing and everything else. This is the subject for today. 2006 Yamaha TTR 125 LE. That stands for the bigger tires, the L does. And then the E is the electric start. But they all come with a kicker as a backup. As you can see, it's pretty rough. It's got a cheap Chinese air carburetor on it, you know, no tube going back to the air box, no battery. But the crazy part is, see if I can do this kind of backwards. It fires right up. I mean, just that easy. She does smoke quite a bit once she gets warm. The cylinder rings probably are toast. Picked this thing up for $500, just like it is. Let's get it fixed. Well, you might be asking yourself, how are we going to polish this turd? Well, it's going to be with this. All right, so what we got here, we have a Chinese rear fender, an OE front fender, OE number plate, and OE side plates to kind of replace this one. It's broken. Back here, ripped and torn. Missing the side cover here. Gas tank, I'm hoping I can get to clean up a bit. These are all spray painted black. Maybe I can clean those up, make a match. I kind of like the black, blue, and white look. And then this didn't need fully replaced. Well, shoot, actually, I think it might be the wrong one. That might be bigger than that one. Wrong as in that one's wrong. But whichever. This is what we got. 150 big bore kit. I put several of those on. They're good. OE airbox neck, then OE filter. So first thing we need to do is kind of pull the seat off the side panel and pull the engine out to have the top end rebuilt. It's got to come out the bottom. Right now, with how it's bogging, give it a little bit of gas, it wants to die. It's getting too much air. That could be from that cone filter. The carburetor could be poorly adjusted. We'll have to take a look at that as well, just to make sure the air fuel ratio screw is about 2 to 3 turns out. And then maybe see if the needle can be adjusted. And then, yeah, let's get cracking. I did forget to mention, I did buy a battery and a negative cable because I thought that's all that was missing. I just kind of glanced at her and I was like, oh, there's the power cable, all good. No, that's the clutch cable. No power wire going down to the starter, and then the starter is missing the terminal. So, $100 more, and I got both coming. Used takeoff. It's actually short wire relay and wire, and then a knockoff starter coming. For the first time ever, I was trying to have everything ready to go. Just overlooked it, just trying to be too quick. Well, let's get this engine out of there at least. Alright, I did a bunch of boring work off camera. Didn't think you'd want to see that. I did throw on the new front fender here. I really think that's to a 225, especially since the bottom is shaved and it was rubbing the frame real bad. So got that guy on there. I hope it's right. I think it looks okay. I don't know. Rear off. Exhaust is off. It's just the 210s and then the 1 bolt back here. Then the whole system comes off. Pipe and muffler. Take off your wiring, your shifter. You don't have to have a lift to do these. So essentially, I take off the front cradle, and then the bottom bolt down here, and then the motor mount, and then this last bolt here, and then just kind of let it down. How I will do it, since I have the lift, is pretty much take off everything, lower it down, then as the lift goes down, it'll kind of cradle the motor. At least that's what I'm thinking. I think last time I did, I just dropped it out the bottom. They're not too terribly heavy, but they are awkward, just because the bike is pretty much unsupported. Other than that, take off your front sprocket. It's just the 2 bolts and the retaining clip. Carburetor is off. And yeah, that's essentially it. Don't fall that far. Oh shit. Forgot about the clutch cable. That 8mm bolt. There we go. So yeah, I just forgot about the clutch cable. Just that 8mm bolt there that holds the bracket. Then detach it from the arm. And pinch me. Be good to go. Alright, get this guy out of the way. Get that torn apart now. It's upside down. So 395.1 something 86. So somebody's been in here before. Cool, cool. Then in addition to, I'm sure those are either 5 or 6 hex heads, and then a 13mm for the head bolts. That'll get the head out of the way. I think that'll also take off the cylinder. I don't think it has any hold down bolts. Oh, don't forget about your cam chain. Okay. Don't drop that washer down in there. Should have faced this the other way. Let's do that real quick. Actually, see what I'm working on here. Okay. Anyways, you want to make sure you get all the way down. Yamaha, in my opinion, used very soft metal for these bolts. They like to round off, especially like in the Warriors and stuff, but just make sure you're all the way on there. Use the right size. Those were 5s. Don't use metric or standard. Alright, so the head should come off now. There's the weasel. This is aluminum, so just be careful prying. Especially on all the fins. I didn't even drain the oil, so. A little bit of carbon buildup, kind of all through there. Those are partially open, but the cam, yeah, the cam is actually in. I'm gonna look up like a cam number for this thing and see if 395.1 matches a cam grind. Well, I couldn't find anything, and it's a lot of work to pull that cam. A lot of extra work, I should say. So I don't want to do that. I didn't cross-reference to like any webcam or anything like that. So, oh well. These cylinders do not have any hold down bolts. They're held in by the head. A little bit of cross hatching still in there. Yeah, you can tell. So this thing sat for years before the guy I bought it from found it. He got it to run and it smoked a bunch, and that was pretty much his extent. So the fact that it ran was good enough for me, because I could at least hear the crank and go through the gears. The cylinder looks like that there. So she was a little worn out. I wouldn't say too bad. A lot of corrosion. But that's okay. Ice cream! Be real delicate if you're pulling out these dowels. You can crush them. They're just folded pieces of metal. So you can crush them real easy. But I gotta get them out of the way so I can clean up this mating surface. Take a pick, small screwdriver, something. Get your wrist pin clips out. It wants to be revived. Came right out. Yep, Yamaha. Yamaha. But with the engraving, I'd say somebody's at least been in here. They could have went back with OE parts. An OE kit's actually not that expensive. In the grand scheme of things, more expensive than the big bore kit because, well, it's Chinesium instead of Japanesium. All right, let me get this mounting surface cleaned up. Well, as you might be able to tell from the background there, it is several hours later, only because I decided I needed to go buy another project, and I might give you a sneak peek here in a minute. So got the mounting surface all cleaned up. What I use is a nylon wire wheel. You can pick this up on Harbor Freight online. They're used a lot like on truck beds when they're installing bed liner, but they're not that abrasive. And then I just take me a razor blade, kind of drag her across just like that. Don't want to gouge it or anything. Oh, missed the spot right there. I try not to dig, but you know, sometimes they don't want to cooperate. Kind of go by that. It just keeps you flat. Cleans it up at the same time. Cleaned up now to the point where I'm satisfied. So that top end kit did supply me with the gasket kit. Just a base gasket, head gasket, and timing chain tensioner gasket. Steel one's the head gasket. Oh. Here's like that. Put the dowels back in to hold it. And like so. And the kit comes with everything you need. New C-clips, wrist pin, obviously a piston. Comparatively, I mean, not much there. I think I got the big bore. Maybe it already had a big bore in it. That's a Yamaha though. This could be a Yamaha one, but either way. Wrist pin. Just like that. Take a little bit of oil. Coat that just so it's not dry. Okay. Perfect. Top dead center. I don't know which one, but it's at a top dead center. Okay, and then the head gasket. I always copper spray mine. Actually, we need diamond shank. Good. Like so. Okay, those are just snug for right now. Alright, torque on the head bolts is 16 foot-pounds or 192 inch-pounds, because math. I'm gonna kind of take these down little by little here. And then it's like 7.2 foot-pounds, whatever that is. And then trying to get the cam, obviously top dead center. Trying to get the cam lined up. It's kind of a guessing game. Just remember, when you tension it, it'll pull it back just a little bit. But I think I am a little bit forward on the timing mark. You know, if I was turning it on the crank, it'd be a lot easier. Alright, yep, got her. First shot, that was easy. Alright, so make sure your dot's lined up there. And then a little tick right there after the tick with the line through it is lined up with your arrow in there. Good to go. There's the finished product. I'm gonna clean it up a bit and then see about getting it back in. Alright guys, besides the carburetor now leaking gas, surely just the float got a little messed up. Let's See if this thing will start. Still not quite getting enough fuel. Too much air. I did check the needle is at 2. It's 1 from the bottom. And then I got the fuel mixture screw 3 turns out. So it's plenty rich. It's quiet. Does have the air tube and air filter on. The idle's good. I'll just kind of let it get up to temp and real shiny. Again, that's that used one. Haven't cleaned up the tank. I don't know what I'm gonna do there. Shoot, that's some thick paint though.